God, give me a humble heart, willing hands, and a Christ-like love for my fellow men. Amen.
What impresses me about this group is their unending support for just their fellow man. As I said, they do not know these individuals are serving. They've just been told there is a need, and they respond to that.
In 2025, the Women's Council will be celebrating 90 years of service to the residents of Graceworks. And while we've grown over the years and they've continued to make gifts for more and more people, the number of women that volunteer has actually been reduced. So it makes the giving and their gifts that much more special. So, you know, when I think of the Women's Council, I think of a reading from Matthew, because they don't always get to interact or see the people that their work is serving, but they are humbly serving and taking care of others and doing the work of Jesus and being really servants of God.
The thing that keeps me coming back is that I've made a lot of friends in this process. It's a lot of work, but it's also very energizing. Each year, you just feel like you can't do it again, but by the beginning of the next year, you're all energized, and I won't forget these friends no matter what.
So Marcia grew up with her mother being very active in the women's groups at church and in the Women's Council. And so when her mother passed, she really took it on herself to be an active member. And so it wasn't long after that she decided that I would be an active member. So, you know, for Christmas programs and things. One of the things Marcia adopted was the birthday cards for the clients at Bethany. And she collects cards from anybody who will donate cards, or she buys them herself. And she usually writes a little heartfelt message to each one, even though she doesn't know who's going to get it.
Well, my mother was very involved, and she used to bring a friend, and my mother had hearing problems and the other lady couldn't see very well. So they said together they made one good woman. My mother was really involved. She used to go on Salem Avenue and sew in the olden days. And then I sort of followed her.
We're called the Busy Bees. And we also give a lap robe and a pillow to every member of the congregation who enters a nursing home or who is at home and can't come out anymore. Gave 90 quilts to Lutheran World Relief on top of everything else that we've sewn for Graceworks. We also give to Lutheran World Relief.
For many of our residents, they have, particularly in some of our other service programs, they don't have the deep family connections. And sometimes this may be one of the few gifts that they do receive at Christmas. And the fact that someone they do not know, that does not know them, took the time to make a handmade gift, you know, knitting, crocheting, sewing, that's just an invaluable gift, and they are very pleased with it and surprised.
And I started asking about these hats and who made these hats, and I was told that there is a lady named Marion whose husband cannot leave the house. He suffers from dementia, and he cannot leave the house. And Marion is her husband's sole caregiver. And so as she is sitting there with him, she hand knits every single one, hundreds and hundreds during the year. She hand knits these hats that are gifted to our residents, and it's such a wonderful image for me of somebody doing what they can, giving what they can in order to bless our residents.
We had one young lady that shows me her hat every year. She gets really excited to show off her handmade hat. So again, we can't thank the Women's Council enough for all of their gifts and the charity they give to enhance living.
You know, many of our residents are often cold. So, we try and keep our facility as warm as possible, but anything that they can be given to give them a little extra warmth, whether that be a blanket or a hat, scarf, any of those items, they really just appreciate the love and the warmth that comes across.
I think their initial reaction is just surprise. Surprise that somebody's taken the time and the effort to put into these wonderful handmade gifts. They just mean so much to the residents, and they're actually so very useful, the items that they make. We are very grateful for their time and their effort and their generosity that they give to Graceworks. A true example of faithful caring.
And that's why, as CEO of Graceworks Lutheran Services, I'm really excited to thank and congratulate and celebrate the work of the Women's Council for the last 90 years.